Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog. So, what do we have here? Well, we have a court order, so ordered by U.S. bankruptcy judge David M. Warren. This was filed earlier today, and it's going to have seismic influence or repercussions that are going to will likely play out in the WotC TSR suit in federal court in Washington. So, consent order with regard Wizards of the Coast LLC's motion for confirmation that the automatic stay does not apply, or in the alternative for relief from the automatic stay. This matter is before the court upon the consent of Movement Wizards of the Coast and John Bircher, Chapter 7 trustee. He's the trustee of TSR, which entered bankruptcy, I believe, back in June. Based on the consent of the parties, the court makes the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. Finding of fact, Wizards has an ongoing litigation pending in the United States District Court for the Western District of Washington with Debtor LLC, its principal, and other parties. An affiliated business together, the other parties, over infringement of Wizards' common law trademark rights. That Washington litigation was automatically stayed by debtor's bankruptcy petition. Wizards contends that following the petition date, other party began violating a protective order from the Washington federal court that barred the parties from harassing or otherwise attempting to unduly influence witnesses in that case. Wizards contends that it needs to move the Washington court to enforce that protective order and for sanctions for its violation. Wizards is a publisher of fantasy games, including the renowned Dungeons and Dragons game franchise, which it acquired through its 1997 acquisition of D&D's original publisher, TSR Incorporated. In 2021, newly formed TSR sued Wizards in the Western District of Washington, seeking a declaratory judgment that Wizards does not own various trademarks originally established by TSR Incorporated, including the work mark TSR, various logos, and marks for Star Frontiers, another game originally published by TSR Incorporated. Wizards filed an answer stating its common law trademark rights in the marks due to continuous use, predating TSR LLC's use, and asserting counterclaims against debtor and other parties for infringing its rights. In connection with the Washington litigation, Wizards subpoenaed third-party witnesses Don Samora and Michael Hovermail in fall of 2022. Shortly after receiving these subpoenas, Samora and Hovermail were subjected to harassing and threatening posts online and in direct communications. Among other things, Samora was the subject of a highly harassing website, donosamora.com. This website published personal information about Samora and disparaged him and his businesses. Wizards Counsel contacted the other party's counsel regarding this website and other harassment occurring in September and October 2022, and it ultimately brought their behavior to the Washington court. The Washington court entered the party's stipulated protective order on November 4th, 2022. Under that order, parties are barred from any direct or indirect conduct to improperly influence testimony or participation in this lawsuit, including any public limited audience or private statements intended to or likely to have the effect of harassing, intimidating, threatening, or otherwise improperly influencing witnesses or a party in this litigation. The actual or threatened dissemination of any personal information about witnesses or a party, including information of a personal nature, regardless of whether it may be available in the public domain. Use of a witness's or a party's name or likeness in a derogatory or harassing manner. False and intentionally harassing reports to law enforcement about a witness or a party. Solicitation, encouragement, or suggestion for others to perform any conduct barred by this protective order, and any other behavior intended to or likely to have the effect of improperly influencing a witness or a party. To Wizard's knowledge, these harassing activities ceased for some time in compliance with the protective order. However, when the debtor filed for bankruptcy on June 8th, 2023, the perpetrators of the witness intimidation and harassment allegedly resumed their behavior. This alleged activity violated the court's protective order and should be brought to that court's attention. And see above, any violation of this protective order shall be brought to the court's attention. Wizards filed its motion seeking confirmation from this court of its ability to do so without violating the bankruptcy stay or the alternative, relief from the stay for that purpose. Conclusions of law. As a general proposition, the stay imposed applies only to bar proceedings against the debtor and does not apply to actions against non-debtor, third parties, or co-defendants of the debtor. Other parties are non-debtor third parties, and the automatic stay does not apply to those parties. Pursuant to 11 U.S.C. Code 541 sub A, the filing of the bankruptcy petition created an estate. The trustee was appointed pursuant to Chapter 7 of the Bankruptcy Code. The creation of the estate and appointment of the trustee had the legal effect of precluding other debtors and any other former officer or director of the debtor from acting on the debtor's behalf. As a result, any conduct of the other parties that occurred post petition could not legally be imputed to the debtor. Now, therefore, it is hereby ordered, adjudged, and decreed that the automatic stay does not apply to any action Wizards wishes to take with respect to the other parties. The other parties' post petition conduct may not be legally imputed to the debtor. When we consent, John Bircher is the trustee for Chapter 7 for TSR, and Brian Darrer for counsel for Wizards of the Coast. So, end of the document. Folks, I'd like to know what your thoughts are of this, what you think is going to potentially happen, what the results might be. Just putting it out there. All right. As usual, be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. I'll be back with another, hopefully, interesting video, news update. Who knows? Tomorrow. All right, folks. God bless. Good night.